So, and action. Wait. And action. Action. And action. Okay. Death. Take the L. Take the L. Take the L. Take the L. What was that? I wonder what happened. Oh, they turned them off. That was crazy. Okay, yeah, take the L, take the L, take the L. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am feeling really good today. I have been kind of going through the motions a little bit these past few days because, yeah, this is an interesting process. I've never had someone pass away that I really, really love and really, really care about. And on my channel, since I just actually started really the process of making my YouTube videos and showing up online, it just so happens that I'm talking about death because it just happened, but it's happening for me and for so many other things. So I feel like that's the only guarantee that we have here in life, and why not talk about it? We could talk about everything. We could talk about, love, relationships, sex, money, magic, science, etc., etc. I feel like we can talk about death because death basically encompasses everything that we know on earth, everything. So for this video, it is called Take the L. I don't know, am I yelling? I don't know, but it's called Take the L. And when I say take the L, I mean like literally take the L and run with it. And not necessarily run with it, but sit with it. Take your L and sit with it. Your L meaning, if you've seen some of my first videos, then you'll see that you'll see that there's one video where I'm talking about taking a loss or taking a lesson, and there's only one L to take. You can either take it as a loss, a lesson, or as love. You can either take it as a loss. I'm going to kind of summarize the video just a little bit, but that is something that you should go watch more in depth. And yeah, but if you take something as a loss, you're taking it in the sense of, let's use, I don't know, your glasses, right? Let's use your glasses, for instance. You're an athlete and you're in the locker room and you're going through the motions, you're going through the hustle and bustle, and you put your glasses down, and where'd they go? Where'd they go? What happened to them? What happened to them? What happened to my glasses? I don't know where they are. What do I do in this moment? So you have three choices. You can either take it as a loss, you can take it as a lesson, or you can take it and just love the situation for what it is, etc., etc. So some examples of this with the different options that you have, that I feel as though you have, because you don't have to have these options. I am the one presenting what I know and what I believe in myself to be true. I'm sharing that with people so that, again, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't resonate, do not take it. Don't identify with it, because as soon as the moment you do identify with, if I'm saying, oh my God, I'm having a terrible fucking day and this is how you should handle a terrible day, just be mean to everybody, and you're like, wait, yeah, like that makes a lot of sense to me, like I should go and do that, then now you're contributing to the groves of lowly that we already have, and that's not necessary, and that's not what I'm showing up online to do. So the first L, loss. You can look at the glasses being gone as, oh my God, I just lost my glasses. I just took a loss. I just lost my glasses. I don't know what I'm going to do. Woe is me. My day is ruined. Blase, blase. That was kind of predictable and kind of boring, right? I don't know. I kind of like to take it, which is my personal favorite, as a lesson. It's right there in the middle. It's like a smooth median. I can say, oh my gosh, I just lost my glasses. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I misplaced my glasses. I don't know where they are. Ding, ding, ding. If I'm going to choose to take this as a lesson and not a loss, okay, first of all, I'm not going to freak out because I haven't lost anything. They're just misplaced. That means that there is a place for them. They're just not in that place, right? That's the information that I've gained from. That's the first bit of information that I've gained. And then this is also for those of you watching that actually know me, or like that have been around me, and you wonder why, how I operate and how I think, and watch my videos. You'll see, because I'm going to explain in real time, how I think and how these things, I don't know, how I see them in my mind. So again, that's the first bit of information that I have. Oh my gosh, they're misplaced. They're not in the place that they usually are. So they're not gone off of the earth. They're not destroyed. They're just misplaced. I haven't lost anything. I've just misplaced them. Point number two. So I am going to say point number two now, but this should have been first and foremost, is that all a lesson is, once you decide that you're going to take the lesson, all the lesson is just a a jumble of information that you're going to take from and do something with. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you, right? So if I say that I've misplaced my glasses and I've just got a little piece of information, it might not help me deduce a situation to where I can figure out where they went immediately, but starting with that little bit of information, I can go from there and then continue what I plan to do by, is it called deduction? By deduction, right? I'm just going to assume that I'm correct because people have told me that I do that a lot. So I think that that's the right, no, that's the right word. That's the right word. Anyway, so let me check. No, it's the right word. It's the right word. So yeah, so that second point should have been first, but you're following me. Honestly, if you have a pen and notepad, or if you're taking notes of some form, like you should be doing with any video that you watch or anything that you watch, you know, this shouldn't be a problem. So this is just for those who are listening and they're kind of like, whoa, how did she get, yeah, oops. And I feel bad for anybody reading the lyrics on the, because I'm everywhere. But let's get back on track. So for choosing, if you chose a lesson, right? So if I chose a lesson and I'm like, okay, boom, I have the, you know, I know what to do when I decide to choose a lesson. As soon as I choose a lesson, I have to understand that everything from this point on is information, okay? So now that I have a little bit of information, the fact that I have not lost anything, I've just misplaced them. So they're not on my face, they're not in my bag, they're not where I put them, in the place that I put them, but they're somewhere else, so they're misplaced. Okay, so let's go on to the next point. This is, again, this is what I would naturally do. I'd probably be like, okay, well, how many people are in the room? How many people were in the room when I first got in here? How many people, blah, 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 blah. And it sounds like a lot, but it's not when you're used to doing it and you're used to, you know, just kind of every day on a daily basis, kind of being aware when you're self-aware, but you're also aware of your surroundings, et cetera, right? So this is what I would use to deduce a situation. Even if I never found my glasses again, I would come to the, is it deduction? I gotta look this up. I want to be sure. Right. Even if I haven't gotten, even if I haven't successfully found my glasses after I've deduced the situation and I've come to a determination that they're nowhere to be found, I haven't taken an L. I haven't taken a loss. I now know that what I won't be doing is X, Y, and Z. So for example, what I won't be doing is taking my glasses off before practice and putting them down where I can't see them. They're going to come off of my face. They're going to be folded and put in a case and put in my bag inside of my locker, and then my locker will be shut. Right? Or, you know, let's say they fell out of my pocket or they fell out of my backpack. Then I'm going to go get those, you know, those glasses reader or lanyard or something to help me keep track of my glasses, because I'm not going to allow myself to lose them or misplace them or be available for someone to pick them up out of confusion or whatever the case may be. Again, right? That's my goal. And if I'm going to honor that goal, then whoa, I just had like 4 different conversations. If I'm going to honor that goal, then I am going to become that much more self-aware. I'm going to go back within, okay? And I'm going to become that much more self-aware of what I've been doing with my items, not just my glasses, because if I'm losing my glasses, the things that I see with, then because if I'm misplacing my glasses, the things that I see with, then I'm probably misplacing other things that I'm not even aware that I'm misplacing, right? So these are just, again, tools so you don't automatically assume, oh my God, I'm a loser. I've lost my glasses. I'm a loser. You say that enough and the world is going to show you exactly who's boss. They're going to show you who's right. And you're right. You're boss. You're the one. You are the brightest star in your galaxy. You're absolutely correct. If you think you're a loser, you are a big fat loser. Okay? So we've gone over loss. We've gone over lesson. Now let's go over love. Now I did recently add this into the equation simply because I know that how I am, the type of person I am, I naturally find that kind of like non-biased kind of medium. And hold on. Yeah, so I know that I naturally find that kind of non-biased medium. And there are times where I've seen even after filming that video that I'm like, whoa, like, okay, so I may automatically default, why can't I talk right now? I mean, I can talk, but why is it? I have not been experiencing this all day, and now all of a sudden my voice is like, I have to burp. I haven't broken my fast yet. It's 3 o'clock. I haven't eaten today. I haven't eaten since 8 o'clock last night. I haven't broken my fast. Why am I feeling like this? There should be nothing, you know, working its way up or, you know, digesting right now. Anywho, so I did notice that I naturally have, like, I fall within a medium, right? So if, you know, there's something going on or I'll fall into the in between. Like I'll hit all categories at some point, maybe not all at the same time, maybe all at the same time. I have done it all at the same time, and it's quite fascinating to witness, and you've probably witnessed it before, probably not as diligent, but yeah, it's a very interesting thing to experience, especially being, you know, aware to an extent. But yeah, I kind of have this thing where I eventually get to a medium, and my medium is, I guess it's a point of neutrality. I didn't realize what I was doing before, but I was just basically kind of alchemizing the situation for myself and transmuting it into something that wasn't so necessarily painful, so surprising, so blase, something that was not comfortable within my body, right? So I've now noticed that what can be attributed to like loss, negative, lesson, neutral, love would be positive. So it's like that uber positive, uber perfect, uber, you know, oh my gosh, it's okay, that whimsical Quaalude kind of mom response, like, oh, this is your 5th pair of glasses that you lost. Oh, it's okay, it's gonna be all right, I'm just gonna buy you some more. You know, there's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't prepare you as a child or even as an adult who's misplacing items to go into the world and become a better human being. My main focus is evolution. I absolutely adore evolution. I'm not really sure why, other than the fact that it's so interestingly cool to see a human being go from being like trash to like amazing. And I'm not saying that anybody's trash, but I'm thinking more of an athlete's point of view. Like my POV is more of like, again, I just graduated with a kinesiology and health science degree. So I'm kind of infatuated with the human body. I love the idea that people can go and grow muscles and, you know, build their mind and reprogram themselves and, you know, learn how to transmute pain and learn, you know, and the fact that I'm able to actually help people or assist people in doing this and assist people in helping themselves is amazing to me. Like, I absolutely adore that. I think that that's one of the coolest things that, you know, could ever take place is evolution. And so, or evolving or growing in some way or shape or form, right? So whenever people, you know, do choose that love option and they're like, oh no, there's nothing wrong, or I'm sorry that there's a country accent that came with that. I don't mean, I'm country. Sorry. No, I'm not. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so yeah, you know what I'm talking about when people are like, when those people, well, again, I was around a lot of soccer moms, basketball moms, sports moms. So, you know, you would have those kids who would lose their cleats or lose their shin guards or lose their knee pads all the time. And the parents are like, you know, my parent was more like, okay, like this is what you need to do. You know, okay, I get that you misplaced it. I get that, you know, someone may have stolen them. The glasses thing was very personal experience, by the way. So if you stole my glasses more than once in high school, I'm coming for you. Anywho, yeah, I got scolded in a way, but it was also in a more like, okay, but this is what you need to do so you don't misplace them or put them here, okay? When in reality, a lot of times, especially when you're dealing with that, it's because you're not in control. And I say that as kindly as possible because essentially it might be just ADHD or, you know, honestly, it just might be ADHD or ADD or something of the sort where your attention is so, you know, bouncy and squirrelish that you don't get a chance to finish that moment. And it's only because you're not necessarily in full control of your mind. The chemical imbalance, it almost creates like a second version of you that kind of sits the original version of you on the back burner, while the version of you that's not busy with all the thoughts and all the other things kind of makes the decision. So you're kind of on autopilot and you're not noticing why you're losing things, like bumping into things, losing things, being distracted, blase. Just to do that the other day for yesterday. Yeah, but it's work withable and it's not the end of the world. But another good way to, but like I was saying, a good way to deal with life is to choose one of those 3 L's. It's going to be an L regardless. Just choose an L. Okay. It's going to be an L regardless. Just choose which L you would like to take. Now, I don't know why I'm so hyper today, y'all. Like, I woke up like, I've had a very interesting day. But that's also why I think it is so important and not interesting in necessarily what people would deem as good, you know, but I also don't think of things in terms of good or bad. It's not that, you know, I'm necessarily even having a bad day. I'm just dealing with experiences that people may think are bad, like especially death. But on top of those things, you know, life doesn't stop just because, you know, someone drops. Okay. So, oh, that was good. Write that down. What Nero said, that was a bar. Write that one down. I forgot what I said, but just write it down. Yeah, so okay, so I did want to kind of go over the other 2 videos, but I'm actually not going to do that because I'm already at like 20 minutes and I don't want to like just go watch the other videos. I want to stay on topic. So for the take the L topic, let's assume, you know, okay, well, I just gave y'all that example. You take the L, take the L, take the L, take the L. And I say take the L because regardless, you're going to have to take the L. You're going to have to take the L. You're going to have to take the L when someone passes away. You're either going to have to take the L. You're going to have to take the L when anything happens, but especially when someone passes away, because it applies to all things, right? We live in the land of the L. So if we're going to take the L in the case, like, for example, me losing, fuck. Like, for example, a person that I love dearly transitioning and leaving the earth, right? Leaving their flesh and basically going with God. However you want to put it. I don't really like all the technical terminology for this kind of stuff because it's not that deep, but then at the same time, it's beyond deep. So it's like, it's so deep that it resurfaces and it's not that deep again. And then it just keeps doing it, and then just keeps doing it and doing it. And so it's like, I'll see both and I'm like, okay, yeah, like, it's not that deep. But then I'm like, oh my God, it's so deep that it's literally not that deep. But it's so deep that it's not that deep. So like, you gotta like, you have to understand that, you know, it's not that deep, right? But it is so deep. And I know I keep saying that, but it's one of those things that you're gonna have to like get drilled into your head for you to really understand why even people like me show up online. Because I used to, even not often, but there was, you know, times where certain people, I'm like, well, why are they online? You know, why are they showing up? Why are they doing these things, showing up the way that they are in this world? Even if I don't necessarily agree or my eyes don't like what I'm seeing or doesn't understand what I'm seeing, or my ears don't understand what I'm hearing. And that's the thing, like, I was just not on their vibration, right? Anybody can put anything out there, but if it doesn't resonate with me, then it just doesn't resonate with me. But what I do learn from that, because I didn't take a loss, I don't necessarily love it, but I learned a lesson from it. And the lesson is that they're that much better than me in that area because they showed up. So if I say I'm a speaker or that I assist people in helping themselves, and they're actually doing what I need to be doing to show that I can do those things, I don't know. Who am I to judge? And that's why no one is anyone to judge, because again, I woke up today and I'm on it. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to show up in the world how I am with who I am. But that's because I decided to continue deciding, right? I continue deciding to show up for myself, to not take a loss. And honestly, when you love things, like, I feel like everything has everything within it. So, you know, yeah, technically, when choosing lesson, I lost out on the experience of, you know, using my glasses. Like, I could have had them, but I've lost out on that experience because they're not here. I didn't personally lose anything, but I did lose out on the experience of wearing glasses because for today. But tomorrow, once I get new ones, I'm not losing out on that experience anymore. So that's why I don't think that it's absolute loss. Nothing is an absolute anything, right? But I think everything is an absolute lesson. Everything is an absolute lesson. I think the only thing that is absolute is lessons. That's the only thing that's absolute. And so, anyways, so another point that I did want to make was, that's nasty. Anyways, I'm gonna cut that part out. I'm judging. Okay, no, that's just an observation. That's another thing that I like talking about. I'm gonna talk about that in another video. Holy moly, ravioli. People love being like, oh my God, no, like, I would never. I would. I might not do it like you, but I probably would do it, you know? Forgot where I was. Whenever you take an L, just know that, so basically, like I was saying, regardless, you're going to take an L. It can either be a lesson, it can be a loss, or it could be love. Honestly, I choose lesson because I feel like lesson encompasses all three. So if you want to be a loser so bad, but you also want to be a lover, just have that healthy balance and be a learner. Be a learner. Take the L as a lesson, not a loss. You have the option. Use your free will. So a lot of times, that's another thing I want to take a point out on. I want to touch on is that I've noticed that people are like, you know, I know these things. You don't know it, because if you knew it, you would do it. If you knew it, you would do it. If you knew it, you would do it. If I could say, oh, I know how to be confident all the time, but then show up insecure as hell, I don't know it. I know of it. Like, when people, this is what this reminds me of. People would always like talk to me in the hallways, right? Like, and I didn't necessarily know them. I didn't know them at all. I really didn't know anybody. I had a very interesting experience growing up, the schooling experience growing up, but which we will get into because it's so interesting. I'm gonna write probably books and, you know, talk about it as much as I feel like it. But there was these certain people that would like wave at me, you know, speak to me, acknowledge me in that way. But I knew that they, like, you know, I knew who knew me and I knew who didn't. those people knew of me, but they did not know me. So there was no relationship there, right? So I know that's kind of hard to compartmentalize, but I'm going to kind of put it together for you. So I could know of driving, but if I don't get on the road and actually drive appropriately, efficiently, I don't know how to drive. I know of it though. I've seen it. I've tried it, but I don't know how to drive if I go out into the world and do the opposite of what a driver would do. You can extrapolate that into any point in your life. You can take that and scale it down, scale it up, and apply it to any point in your life. Whoa, am I yelling still? Am I yelling still? Just deal with it. I'm just excited today, okay? Okay, I'm excited. Oh, my personality just came out. I just unmasked a little bit right there. Actually, I haven't been really masking, but I do see little spurts of my personality, and I'm like, whoa, I was not wanting to share that with you guys. But whatever. Okay, so yeah. I don't really have points for this, like my video. I'm just kind of like, I did type down what I did want to talk about loosely, but for whatever reason, I don't have a system for that just yet, because I haven't found one that works. But if someone does have like any ideas, y'all can hit me up. I can't see it. I mean, I can see it when I cross my eyes. Okay, ouch. Okay, so let me see. Let me go over this. But yeah, in all, if you do anything, with anything in life, just, you're gonna have to take a L. Okay, and I know a lot of times it's like, oh, I don't take L's, and it's like, unfortunately, you do take L's. They're just not the L's that people think that you're taking, right? So you could be taking, again, like I said, the loss, you could be taking a lesson, or you can be taking love. You can, and the take is like your take on it, your take on it. So my take on that situation is, oh, I love that situation. Or my take on that situation, oh my God, I lost so much, oh my God. Or my take on that situation is, oh my gosh, I learned so much that I'm good. I mean, it's unfortunate that I don't have them anymore, but fortunately that I can get some more. Fortunately that I learned this, that. Fortunately, so there's so many things that you could learn, right? What if you find out you have a snake amongst you? What the fudge did I say? Amongst you? Yeah, that's the right word. What if you find out you have a snake amongst you? Now you know that someone on your team likes to steal, or, there's a number of different things that, and this is just from losing glasses. I can do this with any example. You can give me any example where I can do the exact same thing that I just did with this. It's not hard. It's actually quite fun. So I am going to transition because I don't know why I'm so like I'm not hyper, but I'm like, oh, coffee. Duh. I had coffee today. I need to calm down. Oh, and I haven't broken my fast. Huh. Okay. I think I need to do my videos before I go on my fast, because I feel amazing right now. And then after I eat and after I get like anywhere else, I do not want to do anything. Like, seriously, y'all. It's kind of sad. We're not gonna keep doing that. We're gonna keep showing up. Okay, so I do kind of want to transition this video into, because I am gonna close out this like segment. So if you do want like a personalized video about your specific situation and how you can transmute that situation, I know this video wasn't really about any of that. It's just kind of like very, very surface level, because I kind of want to I'm still experiencing this, although I can see it through and through. I do want to give not only myself that grace, but I want to give anyone else watching that grace. So I'm not going to be going too far in depth right now. This is going to be the last video on death for a little while, and then I'm going to circle back around and give y'all an update on myself. And also, I've already had people sharing their stories with me, sharing their situations, and just kind of asking for, like opinions and what do I think, and just like kind of like people do in real life, except this is online, and it's kind of it's still kind of weird for me. So I don't want y'all to feel like I'm ignoring you or anything like that. I am going to get to you whenever I do get the chance to, but this is kind of new to me. And there are multiple platforms. Y'all are finding me on all of my platforms, by the way, which I absolutely love. And I do appreciate you guys for also commenting and sharing your experiences and what you think about what I'm saying. And if y'all think that there's anything I should go over or talk about or add or subtract, blase, let me know, please. I'm open to constructive criticism, and I'm actually excited about life. Like I really love life. Now there are things that I don't necessarily or that I could say before that I didn't necessarily like. But honestly, a lot of stuff doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't materialize into my life unless I allow it to. So as of right now, we're not even talking about that. We're talking about excitement and what I'm excited about. And that is evolution, right? So a part of evolution requires self-mastery. And that is why I'm here making this channel based on New Day and her new perspective. Okay. So I am going to pivot into a different, subject. It's the same subject. It's over death, but it's a different, take on death. Okay. But yeah, so on this video, okay, so by now you've seen the first video, including the first two videos on this topic, including the first part of this video. Now I'm going to transition into kind of another topic, or it's still surrounding death. It's just another take on death. Just gonna give you a different perspective. Remember, this channel is about different perspectives and different POVs, so this is what I'm here for. If you need help figuring out a different perspective on your situation, just let me know, okay? So basically, like I said, when someone dies, just take the L. Not a loss, but a lesson. Things are apparently destroyed to be recreated. And remember, the flesh is just an avatar skin suit that is only here for us to customize and live our experience in a customizable manner and in our own very unique manner, so that we can evolve ourselves and evolve the world. So, you know, like, as much as I've experienced, you know, with immolation and having, you know, different surgical procedures for my survival, emergency procedures for my survival, oftentimes I think about getting surgery and reconstruction because I just, you know, I miss how I look, right? But also at the same time, I know that I'm good doing either. I'm good with doing it, and I'm also good with knowing that, you know, even though this is not how God created me how I came out of the cooch, I still love myself regardless. And I've learned how to do that by just waking up every day and being, you know, going with that flow, because the world will also wake up and go against your flow, right? They'll go against every grain that you know. If you're comfortable with a roll on your body, get on the internet. What in the heck keeps happening? I'm just burping. I haven't eaten anything. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Okay. What the heck? So yeah, you're good with the roll on your body now. You get on the internet and you either see somebody, you know, being body positive or they're being body negative, and they're going to take you with them. So that's why that free will is so gosh darn important, so that you can go and use it and cash it in how you need to, so that you can help best evolve yourself. Y'all like my country accent? That was cute, huh? Anywho, so I just want to go over a few key things to remember while you're going through this. You know, I know that it is easy to hop in that ego vehicle and get on, I'm looking at myself, yeah. I know that it's easy to hop in that ego vehicle and get to the point where you're just trying to, I don't even know what it would be considered. You're just stroking your ego. You're just jacking your ego. Just like you jack you know what I mean? Yeah, a peen. You're jacking your esteem like you're jacking your peen. Don't do that. You know, you don't want to stroke your ego in the ways that don't support you or serve you. Because honestly, when you look up, you're just going to need more of that ego stroking. And take it from somebody who people have tried to quite literally throw me their sympathy. Throw it to me because, oh my gosh, this poor little burn girl must need some sadness. I don't need your sadness. If anything, I'm disgusted. Please stop. Okay? What? I used to think I was so confused all of the time, because I'm like, why are people so like, oh my God, you're doing so great. Why wouldn't I be doing great? I was doing great 5 surgeries in, walking around the hospital as a 2-year-old, 3-year-old. So, you know, I never really resonated with feeling like a victim. I didn't really start trying to tap into victimhood until I was older, until I was in like high school. That's when I wanted to, like, I don't know, actually this was kind of after high school even, or, you know, halfway through, after my great grandmother passed away when I was in the 10th grade. I think that's when it started, because I remember I was like, wait a minute, so people do these things, they cry so that they can get the attention of blase blase. I used to want my mom's attention so bad, you know. She was always working, she was always busy, so I used to think that maybe if I go and do certain things that I'll get her attention. Of course that didn't work, and of course that just made me that much more disgusted with myself, because I'm like, wait a minute, like, this is that thing that people were trying to do to me, I'm doing it to myself. Yeah, so there's that. But where I was going with that is that you don't want to use that ego body to propel you into the wrong direction. Don't get propelled into the wrong direction. Use your ego body to propel you into the right direction. So instead of, for a good example, death, instead of someone has passed away and it is so sad that you can't move anymore, that you can't, so, okay. Hear me from the beginning. Let me back up and start it from the beginning, how I'm seeing it in my head. So, boom, someone passes away. You automatically you have an option to take a L, one big L. You can either take a loss, you can take a lesson, or you can take love. You're taking be love. And if you take a loss when someone passes, that's because you looked at the situation like, oh my gosh, I don't have this help anymore. I don't have this energy anymore. I don't have this love anymore. No one's going to love me like that. No one's going to care for me like that. No one saw me the way they did. No one heard me the way they did. No one trusted me the way they did. I didn't trust anyone the way that I trusted them. Blase. The list goes on and on. It feels like you've lost everything, including that person's body. When we don't possess bodies, we don't own our bodies. We don't even own our own bodies, let alone own someone else's body. So I could be sad that my father is gone all I want, but I don't own his body. God took it back. God rented it out to us to begin with. Like, come on, like, are we forgetting the picture, the big picture? We not bigger than the program. What part of we're not bigger than the program do people don't get? What are y'all not? What's not clicking? Okay, once that starts to click, I know that it is such a tough love, and I know that it can feel overwhelming. Click off the video. Click off of my video, but return to it whenever you have the balls, whenever you have the confidence, whenever you have the sturdiness within your own being to listen to something like this, because your family, they'll stroke your sad ego so that you can continue to not show up for yourself and do the things that you need to do to propel yourself into that version of you that needs to still survive, needs to still thrive in this world. Okay? I have deduced that so many people are basically, they're grieving. People are grieving. Like, oh my God, the whole world is grieving. Like, and it's not that I didn't know that. It was more of like, I don't know what to do about that. Like, what do you do when you know that this person is acting this way because they're having a bad day, regardless of what happened? Like, how we'd be like, or how we'll say, oh, who pissed in their Cheerios? Or who, base. Somebody probably really got their Cheerios pissed in. Somebody probably really, and I say it's real like that because they decided that that's what happened. They decided they took an L that day. So if they decide they took an L that day and I'm waking up like, yeah, life is love, life is lessons, like, of course I'm going to run into a bunch of people trying to shut me down, or I'm not welcome, or I'm not aligning with them, right? So, like when I was saying about, people letting you choose the other end of the stick, you have to be that much aware. You have to be that much more present and self-aware so that you can help yourself make decisions that you need to make to show up in the world the way you need to show up, so that you can basically be the best version of yourself, not only for you, but everything around you, everything and everyone around you, because that's what's going to align or allow the universe to align you with exactly what you feel like you deserve, right? So if you feel like you deserve to take a loss, take it. You feel like you deserve to not get this type of information from somebody like me, click off. If you feel like you don't want to see my face ever again, don't subscribe. But if you do, subscribe. That's taking it as a loss. Woe is me. The oh my gosh, the earth keeps on spinning, but it's not stopping for little old me. Oh my God, go stop the world. Show up and show out. They don't know what happened because you haven't told them. You're just taking up your little corner of the world. And that's not to say that it's small or that it's big, because it's small to something, big to something. But if you care that much about, oh my gosh, this person's not showing up for me. What? Like, you can take it as a loss if you want to, okay? Take it as a loss. I don't mind. I don't really care. I care about those who care about themselves, okay? So, and it's not to say I don't care. I'm not really, you don't matter to me. You're not materializing my life. So, base, whatever. Those who are very interested in what they're going through in a time like this, and not trying to actively showing up for themselves by even coming across a video like this and watching it. I adore you, and we got this. I love you too. So what I was saying, like getting back into the the L options of L's you have, the row of L's you have, the L's. What is wrong with me? Oh yeah. So my lovely choice, my favorite choice, my lofty choice is a lesson. So again, oh my gosh, someone has passed away that I adore. a lesson. I have now learned and become more aware and privy to the fact that people not out here showing up in people's life. He was so present in my life. I'm missing him dearly because he was so present in my life. It makes me appreciate his presence that much more. Let's see. Navigating different things like to do with my car or to do with, certain things, having to handle life on my own. You can think of it as a loss. I can think of it as a loss all I want. Oh my gosh, I have to move this big heavy object. I have to move by myself. Oh my gosh, I have to do all these things that he would have shown up for me. But now I know that I'm able to do these things by myself. I can do them by myself, or I have made a friend asking for help, or I've gotten closer or made my relationship better. If I have a relationship, I made it better by asking for help, because I would lean on this person, but they passed. So now I need, oh my gosh, this person does things for me. This person serves me in ways that serves my life. So therefore we can serve each other. Cool. You wouldn't have had that before if you didn't need that person, or if you didn't ask for that person's help prior to someone passing, right? Or you could learn that there's a number of things that you could learn, right? I could go down the list. I just don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. And then of course, love. Have full understanding. I feel like this is a little bit more on the woo-woo side of spirituality when it comes to like how people abuse love and, oh, like I love that. And then it's conditional. When you unconditionally, love is unconditional. Love is not conditional. So if it is conditional love, it's not love. Let's just call it a conditional love. It's a con love. We can call it a con love. It's not love, but it's con love, right? So it's like kind of like love, but it's not love, right? But what I'm talking about, the pure love I'm speaking on, is the unconditional okayness with things, right? So for death, for example, I'm not going to cry at a funeral. I'm not going to, if I choose that option, I'm not crying. I'm not, what is it called? I'm looking at it as, as exactly what it is. It's just transitional. And this is, I love this for the earth, and how, I don't even know how to look at it from that perspective, because I don't love the fact that he's gone. I absolutely don't love it. I'm still human. And yeah, I don't love that at all. That's not, well, but I did learn from it. And I am learning from it every day, but I don't necessarily love it. That, to that extent. And a lot of things, it's so hard to like, the way my brain works, I see that, like, even saying that, I see like a meter on it, and I'm like, I know how much, when I'm using the lesson, I know how much love for death is in that, the lesson. But when I'm like, how I'm explaining it to you, I don't know, it's in my head. But yeah, so my happy medium is lesson. Take the lesson. And yeah, I know that that's the gist of what people are going to have to do to wake up every day in this society. What is that noise? Why do things keep popping in here? What is going on? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But yeah, what I wanted to add to this video is just some points to remember. Remember that not everyone is grieving, okay? So not everyone around you is grieving. People aren't going to necessarily show up for you how you want or how you need or how you feel like they should, because they're not grieving. They don't care that you're grieving. Because remember, grief is just love misplaced. Okay, we have this weird outlook on what grief is, as if it's this like this thing that, this pet, this animal that's supposed to be consoled, and this version of us is this temporary sleeve in our avatar that shows people that, oh my god, I need you right now. It should be a no-brainer that when someone loses someone, or when someone someone in someone's life has transitioned, depending on how they even looked at it, when that happens, of course you want to show up for people and be there how you can. But we have to understand, and what I come to an understanding at a very, very young age, is that people aren't capable. People don't have the capacity. Your best friend, your mom, your cousin, your aunt, that person who's been in your life all these years, and now you're like, oh my god, they show their true colors. No, their true colors have been shown. You're just now seeing them for what it is, because you've been snatched so far from earth because of this death that you've experienced. You've been snatched to a bird's eye view. So you're up here with me with the POVs. Okay, this is what happened to me as a 1-year-old. I was snatched from earth and just kind of put here to see everything that's going on, and I'm like, oh, whoa, so that's where you are now after the person has passed. And so now you're like, whoa, like, wait a minute, you have time to come hang and console me, but you're not doing that. One, they don't have to do that. They don't have to come console you because you're sitting in one spot, being woe is me, right? 2, it would be nice for them to have company, but this is why people say get so used to being alone, and that it's a personal journey, because we've in the society, we've collectively made the decision that we are all on our own, journeys. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's man versus man, and honestly, I feel as though we came here to serve and evolve, but I see that a majority, a good amount, I don't want to say the majority, I don't know the percentages, but I know a good amount of people don't see life like that. So you can't expect, naturally, innately, we know what's natural, right? We know that we should have someone there. We should have people, coming in and out of our lives, in and out of our spaces to make sure that we're good. But naturally we know that, but we know that that's not where we're getting, but we can't get caught up on that, right? We know that we need motherly love, but if we don't get it, we can't spend our lives being upset that we don't have it. We have to create that for ourselves. We have to parent ourselves. So when it comes to people showing up for you, people being the same way that they used to be, remember, you have now been snatched to one of the highest points you'll ever to be able to view things from in this state of mind, from a grief love perspective. Your love for this person, however hard you were snatched, is so strong that it is creating this warpness in your life that now everything is kind of melting away, and all the patience and the understanding and for the lowly, for the people who aren't appropriate in your life, start to fall away. That's when people pass. A lot of people just go isolate, and it's so much easier to cut people off because they should have been cut off, right? So people aren't showing their true colors. They've already been shown. They've already shown you their true colors. You're just now accepting them for what they are, because the person that you really want here is not here, and they're nothing. They're meaningless in comparison to who you've perceived as losing. And then in other cases, which I started with the whole point, but people are grieving too. So just like, I don't know why I blended those topics, but yeah, just like you are grieving currently, someone else could be grieving currently. My godfather who came to my loved one's funeral, and they had just lost like 3 cousins and an uncle. There are people who are grieving along with you, and some people don't outwardly express their grief because it's not for you to begin with. I don't understand why people do that to begin with, outwardly express their grief. I understand that people grieve differently, but all grief is love. All grief is love with no place to land. That's like me saying I love you so much, and they're just not physically here to be like, I love you too. And now I'm like, oh my God, I didn't get a response. Oh my God. Come on, like, either you really love them or not. Like, you don't need a response to mean that you love them. You don't need a response for your love for them to be true, right? So, right. Yeah, I don't know where I left off on, but yeah, just remember, some people are grieving too. You're not the only one grieving. You're not the only one that it has had someone transition. It could cross over. It could be happening simultaneously. So you're expecting that person who you may be thinking are showing true colors, they're probably just in the exact same position as you, and because you are in the state of taking a loss, you chose to take a loss, and so therefore your ego feels as though it took a loss. Now you're in that mode of, oh my God, OMG, woe is me. So you're not even worried or concerned with your friend, family member, XYZ, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't have the information that they have. You decided you took a L not only with someone passing away, but you took a L with someone not showing up for you. And when in reality, you could have just taken a lesson from each, had that information, gathered it, came to a deduction, and still have your friends and family, right? Some of them, because some of them, again, some are grieving with you. Some are grieving with you not only for the person you lost as well, or that transitioned for you as well, but they're also probably grieving their grandmothers, a grandmother you don't share. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, I feel like a lot of people get so swallowed up, chewed up, and spit out in this world because they come here thinking, oh my God, I'm not supposed to be doing anything. God did not give me a voice box. God didn't give me this face. God didn't give me these skills. God didn't give me this presence. God didn't give me this existence to show up and do nothing. I mean, yeah, I have the option to, but why would I do that every day? Of course, there are times that I need to do nothing so that I can then connect with Source, so I can be like, well, what are we doing next? But when we ask, what are we doing next? When you ask for prayer, there needs to be option. There needs to be action. When you pray, there needs to be action. What is it called? Faith without works is dead. Come on now. Come on. Okay? That ties together somehow. I know it does. All right. So, yeah, remember those 2 things. Remember, some people have never seen or felt grief before. Some have and are extremely callous to prevent certain feelings from surfacing. So, like, when I say that, that's super easy and simple to explain as well, because again, some people have never experienced this before. Some people, remember, grief is just love misplaced. So if they see you boo-hooing over someone, okay, this is a good example because I've never experienced this, like what true grief is. I've never experienced grief until now. Besides, again, like I told y'all, grieving like versions of myself. I didn't know that that's what I was doing my whole childhood, was grieving a version of myself that I didn't get to become. I was doing that from probably the age of 4 when I started to realize I was different, like really, really different. Probably from the ages of 4 to about 14, probably older than that I grieved myself, yeah, but so I relate to that because there are some people who've never experienced grief, right? So I'm thinking about people who have died, or people who have passed, and how they get, and I'm like, dang, should I have showed up differently? I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't realize that they loved that. Well, also, so it just made another connection. How could I have known that that's what they were experiencing if they shut themselves up and decided they took a loss? I'm thinking you took a loss. Like, I don't know what you lost, but you took a loss. It looks like every other loss you took. But if I knew you had taken a lesson, or if it's just a whole lot of love there, then I would have known to show up in ways that I didn't realize you needed, right? And here I am grieving myself and not even realizing or recognizing, because although grief is just love misplaced, people grieve differently, right? So just know that, remember that, don't expect anything from anyone, and don't take it personal. It's not personal, baby. It's okay, I promise. I think I'm gonna leave a lot of my emoting in here because I really don't care. Like, I don't care. So, yeah, the next one is things are apparently destroyed. Or, sorry, that's not the next one. Yeah, and so some have never experienced it, right? And then there's people who I've been around personally that have experienced so much death. But yeah, then there's people that I've been around that have experienced so much death that they're so callous, they could care less. It's like, oh, if someone dies every day, like, yeah, some people die every day. But it's not to say people die every day and we're supposed to act like it's not something that happened. It's like saying people get in car accidents every day. Like, yeah, that's true, but I'm still gonna drive and be precautious so I don't have a car accident. You know what I mean? Because otherwise I just have one every day. If car accidents happen every day, I could possibly have a car accident every day. Otherwise, I go into the world in a preventative manner, in an efficient manner, so that I don't get in a car accident, right? So you show up in life to build relationships and to have relationships with people in an efficient manner. So yeah, people die every day, but that doesn't mean you don't show up in people's lives how you should when they've had someone transition and they have nowhere to place their love. They need their love to land somewhere. So if you like being loved on, you might want to be around people who need their love to land somewhere. Duh. And honestly, the type of love, like in this case, like watching a husband and wife, watching a wife lose a husband, it's interesting because I know that she has nowhere to really put that love. And that's because, she needs to put it back into herself, but that's because, that dynamic is like, oh, the type of love that I have for him is different from anything else. When in reality, we're all down here just using the same type of love, just extrapolated differently and picky and choosy. And it's very conditional. That's the only thing it's just a conditional type of love, right? Because if it was unconditional, then anyone would be able to come in and be there for you like they need to be, like you need. Yeah. Okay. So, just know that there are some people who've never seen it before. Oh, also, there are also some people that have experienced it so much. Oh, that's what I meant to say. They experience it so much that they're callous. They're just like, oh, I don't need to show up for you. It is what it is. Or, you'll be all right. You'll get over it. And then they wonder why, they don't have a friend anymore. They wonder why their son or their child doesn't, like them anymore. Or, blase is because, your response to that, you're cold-hearted, or you think you're cold-hearted when in reality, you're just a human being trying to be something that you're not. And we all know what happens when you try to be something that you're not. You can buzz. Okay. It's like a fork trying to be plastic in a microwave. Baby, you're just going to, the sparks are going to fly and you are going to blow up one day. Okay. Any moment now, you're going to blow up. So why not just be yourself? Be what belongs where? Okay. Wait. Why? Who would when, where, where? So remember, just go over what you learned from the situation. There's always something to learn from the situation. Know that. And if there isn't, you probably didn't have an experience. If there isn't an L to take from an experience, then you probably haven't had an experience. If you can't be done after what you've just done and be like, did I take an L? Like, what kind of L did I just take? Was that love? Was that a lesson? Or was that a loss? If you can't do that after an experience, it wasn't an experience, guaranteed, hands down. Okay. And it either wasn't an experience. I gotta rephrase that, because it either wasn't an experience, the experience you thought it was, or it was chaos. Because otherwise, it would be clear. You wouldn't, if you go to a seminar, a seminar, you should be expecting to take a lesson, to have a lesson, right? But you could show up to that seminar and feel as though you took an L. Maybe you paid too much and you didn't learn anything, or you feel like you didn't learn anything. That's because you used your free will to take an L. take that version of an L. When in reality, I'd probably show up to somewhere like that and be like, okay, probably wouldn't end up in that situation. But if I did, okay, lesson, duh, because it's always a lesson. But okay, I won't do that again. Or I'm gonna do such and such and such and such so that doesn't happen again. Or I'm gonna go create my own seminar so I can show up in the world and not and run people like them out of the entire world of seminars. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gotta think out the box. You gotta think big. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, so that's the other, I don't know why I keep burping. That's the other point. What information did you gain, and how can you use it to further evolve yourself? People will change and treat you differently, either better or worse. So yeah, people will change. They will treat you differently. They'll treat you better, or they'll treat you worse. The thing is, that's not what you need to focus on. You need to focus on you. Focus on you regardless, because people change like the wind. They're not gonna, and he used to say that all the time. People change like the wind. Stay within, because people change like the wind. It does not matter if they've switched up because someone passed away. They probably would have switched up in a week or two if you told them that you didn't have $1 to your name, or if you told them that blase. It was just a matter of time. Okay, this is just big enough, bold enough for it to happen the way that it happened. Let it happen. Don't go chasing people down. Don't go begging for love. That's why a lot of y'all end up pregnant when y'all have just recently lost someone. Think about that. Stop having sex whenever you're in this way. Stop trying to make friends and go cope, and that's why y'all be getting raped, robbed, and ridiculed, because you're showing up in the world not prepared. I'm not saying that it's okay to do those things. I'm not saying that it is okay to do those things, but it is okay and it is necessary for you to protect yourself. And the only way you can protect yourself is you make the proper decision ahead of time, initially, so that you can show up in the world and not be taken advantage of because you're in this lowly way. Evolve yourself. All right. Yeah, I kind of got sidetracked with that, but yeah, evolve yourself and make sure that, you're not worried about who's treating you better or worse. And if people treat you worse, remove them. First of all, why were they there to begin with? They're treating you worse than what they were already treating you. Remove them. If they're treating you better, that's awesome. Add to that. Pour back into them so that they can pour back into you. Okay, you don't need any negative energy. You don't need any of that hateful, oh my gosh, she's going through that. Like, I've seen it. People get mad. People be angry with you for no reason. Why? Because your attention's not on them anymore. Your attention's on yourself and the fact that you're sad. I know some of y'all have experienced this stuff in y'all's life. I know y'all have. I know you have. It's unfortunate, but I know that it exists because I've seen it with my own two eyes since May. Just in May. I may make a list of all the things I've experienced, all the weird stuff that I've experienced. And actually, no, I'm gonna tell it right now. I'm gonna tell one of them right now. So, there's a cousin group message with some family members, by the way. My loved one passed on, traveled, they transitioned, and we're in a group message. This is maybe even like a week, 7 days after they passed. And, one of the cousins, girl, she goes, hey, what are y'all up to? Sorry for your loss, What are you up to? And, we're like, oh, we're just chilling. Me and my siblings are responding in it. And then the other cousin, a male cousin, responds, oh, I'm with my dad. And he sends a picture of his dad working on a car. And we're like, I'm kind of like, I know what your dad looks like. You know what his dad looks like. We all know we know what our uncle looked like. We're not far removed. This is my parents' siblings' kids. But people are so weak-minded, weak-bodied. They are so easily possessible. I don't even take it personally. I don't think they meant anything by it personally. I just think that they're so not protected mentally that they show up in the world as a hater, as somebody who wants to poke the bear. They want to upset you. They want to make us upset because we lost somebody, because we didn't lose anyone, because someone in our lives has transitioned and traveled. And people will use that, how they say, what's the word, kick you when you're down. That's what that was. Okay, treating you worse. They had already she had already treated me a certain way, and I had already cut her off. So, she was circling back around, I guess, trying to get in, weave her way back in. And she used that opportunity yet again for both of them, because I feel like it was conspired to do whatever that was done, which is very distasteful. If I brought it to their parents would probably be like, come on, y'all, like, y'all, come on. But I don't care enough. I'm not going to do that because I don't really care. I am using it like for content, for stuff like this, because I know that it's going to help somebody else, right? I know if somebody hears that, they're going to be like, well, that happened to me and I wanted to do this, or I did do this. Well, now you don't have to do that. You don't have to respond a certain way. What I did, I just didn't respond a certain way. My sister left a group message, okay? Like, you don't have to interact with it, because some people feed off of chaos. Some people are that lowly, that quote unquote evil, that's how they thrive. Just like I wake up and I'm like, I need some excitement. I want to do something that I'm excited to do. I'm excited to be alive. Some people hate being alive, but they're too cowards to take themselves out. Okay. So they would either poke the bear until the bear attacks them, or they'll just, keep on keeping on until old age or until they walk into traffic or something, right? Okay. I hope that landed how it needs to land. That story was quick. I have receipts, so if anybody ever tries to say that that's not what it was, actually, no, that doesn't even matter. I'm going to attach it probably still because, I may make a whole video collaging what to avoid or what to look out for when death arises, because the way that people show up, oh my God, it's creepy. It's low-key creepy, and I don't really use that terminology often, but it is creepy. Okay. To close out, I just want to say, you will never not miss them. Yeah, you will never not miss them, but the signal does get stronger. Okay, so you're gonna always miss them. You're gonna always be like, oh my gosh, like he would have loved that, or she would have loved that, or oh my God, I wish he was here. Oh, da, 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 da. But it's not necessarily that thought, it's that feeling behind the thought. So if you think that thought and then you get it so sad and so, oh my God, you're gonna mess up your manifestations. You're gonna mess up your life. I don't even know how else to go about that. So, go watch Nero, go watch Shira, go watch Rashard. I don't know. Go watch anyone that will help you assist you in helping yourself stay on track emotionally and spiritually and physically, to the point when you are showing up in the world not prepared to interact and move on this realm how you should with your alive loved ones and your dead loved ones, right? Life goes on. You'll be okay. Life goes on. You'll be okay. Go within so that you don't go without. And remember, some people are just glad it's not them. So, you're wondering why, people are keeping their distance and da-da-da-da. Some people think it's a bad omen to be around people who have lost someone. Some people think it's a bad, karma or whatever the black, blase. They think they may be next. You might not want to even be around them at that time, because it's just not, it's not what, it's not good for you. And some people are just happy it's not them, right? And if that's how it has to happen, that's how it has to happen. I know it's one of the most sleaziest, lowest, illest feeling ways for, you to cut people off or to, have relationships end, but it is what it is. I'd rather any relationship around me end to better my relationship with myself and with God. And I'll say that I'll yell that from the top of the rooftop. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Okay? And I expect the same from the type of people that I aim to have around me. You better not have the likes of me in my lowly state, if I'm in a lowly state, affect your relationship with God and your relationship with yourself. That better never happen. That I would laugh at you. I would probably just laugh at you. Like, you kidding me? Are you Play-Doh? are you Play-Doh? That's what it sounds like. That's all, folks. That's all for today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate it. I don't mind if y'all put some pointers, if anything stuck out to you, if anything helped you, if anything assisted in helping you help yourself, let me know. DM me, message me, comment, subscribe, like if you like to, or don't. You don't have to. But I do appreciate you all for being here. And this is helping me just as much as I hope that it's assisting in you helping yourself. So, yeah, until next time.